All right, we are recording. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, well, thank you for joining. I'm PlaneJoe. I am a pilot, a photographer, and software engineer based in Orlando, Florida, and today is going to be a long video if you couldn't already tell. Recently, I've been taking my tailwheel training, and I've been doing that with Tailwheel Adventures. They're based in Orlando North Air Park at this time. That airport is FA83. It's just a small little airport near Apopka area. While taking the training, I decided to reach out to my instructor and ask, hey, could I record a ground training session with you? And he graciously agreed. So we recorded a full ground session. This is an hour-long session that you would get when you go to Tailwheel Adventures. So really awesome that they allowed me to record this. And you're pretty much getting it for free, which is really awesome. So if you haven't already, go check out Tailwheel Adventures, give them a shout out, tell them that I sent you there. This is already going to be a long video, so I don't want to make it any longer than it needs to be. So this is PlaneJoe, and today we are covering tailwheel ground training.
All right, welcome to Tailwheel Adventures. We're gonna do our tailwheel ground today.
Awesome.
We're gonna pretty much cover everything that we need to know about tailwheel here. Okay, so keep that part in mind because might cover some stuff that you already know.
Okay.
It's just so bear with me on that stuff. It's just to completely cover everything we need to know about tailwheel as a new tailwheel pilot.
Right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Obviously, all this information is from the FAA. We just put it in our own way to make it, easy flow to explain.
Okay.
It is 5 lessons in total. Each lesson has a flight portion and a ground portion. But the real ground that we're going to sit down and do is just lesson 1 that we're doing right now. The rest of it is pretty much we're going to do the flight portion, and then when we come back, we'll debrief about it, and that's the ground portion for the rest of it.
Definitely.
All right. Cool. Makes sense?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So lesson 1, the ground portion here is what we're going to cover, and you have this, so you could always go back to it and look at it.
Awesome.
Cool. Location of, so first things first is the big difference between a tailwheel airplane and a tricycle gear aircraft. Okay. What is the real difference between the two?
The center of gravity is probably, I guess.
Yes, yeah. Center of gravity, really. You get some guys who are like, one wheel in the front and the other wheel's in the back.
Yeah.
Sure, yes, there's a difference, but it's really the CG. That's what we really care about here.
Yeah.
Where's the CG compared to the mains, right? So in a tricycle gear aircraft, in a Cessna here, CG compared to the mains is in the front.
Okay.
In a tailwheel airplane, it's behind the mains.
Right.
It really is the tail draggers. They put the mains a little bit more forward, and that places the CG behind the mains.
Definitely.
Right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's the big difference between a tricycle gear aircraft and a tailwheel airplane.
Definitely.
So why do we need to know that? Who cares where the CG is compared to the mains?
I assume that affects the flight characteristics, so maybe on takeoff you have to kind of hold the nose a little bit different than you would on a tricycle gear or something?
Sure, yeah. No, it definitely affects characteristics of the flight, for sure. Takeoff, a little bit. Definitely there. It's definitely there. It's definitely affecting us a little bit different than a tricycle.
Yeah.
But it's really for landing.
Landings,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's for landings. That's really where it matters.
Yeah.
Because in the air, at the end of the day, you flew it, you see it. In the air, it's just another airplane.
Yeah.
It flies normal. But it's really for landings. Definitely for takeoffs too, but mostly for landings.
Right.
So in general, let's ignore the airplane here for a second. In general, the CG always wants to be front of its motion.
Okay.
Right? So a great example that I've heard about was, I keep forgetting the name of the sport. Badminton?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The ball with the tennis.
Oh,
sorry, with the feathers on the back.
Yeah.
That sport.
Yeah.
So every time the player hits the ball,
right,
then it makes its way in the front. They never hit the feather portion of it, right?
Yeah.
Because the CG of that ball is making its way ahead of its motion.
I see.
Yeah. It's the CG is always in the front.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. A shopping cart is a great one too. When you push a shopping cart normally, you got full control of it. Feels fine. But if you push it backwards, it always wants to swing around. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what's happening, or that's why it's such a big thing for tailwheels, or why we need to know where the CG is compared to the mains in a tailwheel airplane. Because let's act like this is a tail dragger.
Yeah.
When we touch down, the CG wants to be in the front.
Yeah.
Right. Which brings us to ground loops.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Ground loops. So big thing tailwheel pilots worry about Number one, really, is
Yeah.
ground loops.
Okay.
Ground loops
Gotcha.
huge for tailwheel airplanes.
Yeah.
They love to ground loop, and that's why they love to ground loop, because the CG wants to be in the front.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And any object, in this case, is an airplane.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, that tracks.
Cool. That brings us to ground loops. What is a ground loop and how to avoid it? So before I dive into that, in your own words, what is a ground loop?
Ground loop is the tail swinging to the front, so you're kind of just like crashing on the ground.
Sure,
spinning
yeah,
out.
right. But don't we always swing it around like that?
I guess we do, yeah.
Yeah, so the
A
key...
loss of control. I guess.
Loss of control, yes. Give
yeah.
me some.
Oh.
So that's the key word here, is out of control.
Okay.
Right? Because we are going to do a ground loop demo, which we pretty much do it every time we turn our airplane around.
Interesting,
Right?
yeah, okay.
Now, you could do a whole 360,
Yeah.
right? It's under control.
Yeah.
It's just when it does that out of control, that's
Then
pretty
you're
much what a
ground
ground loop
Oh,
is.
okay.
And it's kind of in the name, like you said, right? It's looping on the ground,
Yeah.
but out of control.
There it is.
right?
Okay.
They're mostly not fatal, but they can be fatal.
Yeah.
You're definitely not going home with your airplane, though. Your airplane is totaled, right? The airplane almost never survives a ground loop.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what a ground loop is. CG had escaped, and it continued making its way around, and ground looping you just like that, out of control, though. Of course. Cool.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Awesome.
Absolutely.
There's multiple ways we could avoid a ground loop.
Okay.
One way we could avoid a ground loop is, well, let's look at it like this. So, in a tricycle gear aircraft, that nose gear is connected fully to your rudder,
Yeah.
right? So you go to deflect one rudder, it deflects that nose gear along with it, right? But that nose gear does have a limit. How
Okay.
much left and right is gonna go, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's good time. But the tailwheel airplane, or the tailwheel on a tailwheel airplane, it could go whatever degree it wants.
Yeah.
Right? It has free access to roll whatever degree it
360.
wants.
Okay.
Yeah, full access. But within 26 degrees on the Cetabrias that we're flying, but 26 degrees left or right,
Yeah.
we have full control of it. It's connected to the vertical stabilizer.
Right.
You know what? I explained that wrong. So our rudder on our feet
Yeah.
is not connected to the tailwheel directly. It's connected to the vertical stabilizer.
Right.
The vertical stabilizer turns the tailwheel along with it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And as long as you're within 26 degrees, that tailwheel is locked to the vertical stabilizer.
Right.
To us, what that means is we have full rudder authority.
Gotcha.
But if the tailwheel deflects too far out, it is no longer connected to the vertical stabilizer.
Okay.
For us, that means we don't have full rudder authority.
That makes
Okay?
sense. Yeah.
Cool. So, knowing that part, another way we could look at that is if you take the mains here on a tailwheel airplane, of course, and you draw an imaginary line back here, it places that tailwheel in the middle of that imaginary line.
Yeah.
As long as that tailwheel is inside that imaginary line, you could
Rudder
assume
authority.
you have full rudder authority,
Okay.
right? If it goes too far out, passing that imaginary line, we lost our full authority of our tail.
Gotcha.
Right, so like on that landing, on one of the landings at Leesburg, you're like, I got a little side loaded there.
Yeah.
You did, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't past
Okay.
that limit,
Right.
right? Where if we went too far out, it's
Then
pretty
we-
much is going to a point where there's no return,
Right.
right? AKA a ground loop,
Yep.
right?
There we go.
So that's one way to avoid it. Keep that tail wheel right there in the center.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. That's one way we could avoid a ground loop.
Yeah.
Now, there are 3 conditions that will guarantee you a ground loop.
Okay.
Okay, so if these 3 conditions are happening, you could pretty much guarantee a ground loop,
Okay.
right? So those 3 conditions are, you remember these pretty much anytime you fly a tailwheel, okay?
Okay.
Low airspeed,
Low airspeed.
low power,
Low power.
and low tailwheel, which
Low
I'll explain
tailwheel.
why here in a sec, right?
Okay.
Which I'm sure you're kind of have an idea what that is already. So coming into land, we have low airspeed.
Mm-hmm.
To get low airspeed, we have low power. So there's 2
2 out of the
conditions
3.
right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we touch down on that center line, we need to bring the stick all the way back,
Okay.
right? Bringing the stick all the way back puts pressure on the tail wheel to the ground, puts that pressure there.
I see.
Now
Okay.
that pressure being there causes friction.
Yeah.
So any rudder input you put in there, it will fully respond, right?
I see. Yeah.
Exactly. So now if we touch down on all 3 and we don't bring the stick back for whatever reason,
Right.
right? It's still going to be on the ground,
Right.
but there's
But
no
not
friction.
full-
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no friction happening. So for us, what that means is we don't have full rudder authority,
Okay.
right? So if the CG decides to come around, which it will,
Right.
you're not going to have full rudder to prevent that.
Right.
And it was going to continue
Now
coming
you have
around.
all three. Yeah.
Now you have all
That makes
three,
sense.
which is going to ground loop you. So,
Okay.
so think of low tailwheel as in low tailwheel authority.
Okay.
So anytime you have low tailwheel authority or don't have full tailwheel authority,
Right.
you could easily ground loop a tailwheel airplane.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Thankfully, the Cetabrias are great tailwheel training airplanes because they're a little forgiving. They give you a little bit more time before it fully swings around.
Interesting. Yeah.
Where most of tailwheel airplanes don't do that. If you're not bringing that stick back, it will just swing around.
Wow.
Yeah. Like when I flew the Bird Dog,
Yeah.
I was nice and slow bringing a tail back from a wheel landing. And Kevin jumps in. He's like, "You got to bring that back a little
Real fast.
faster." Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
like, "This is not a Cetabria.
Right.
This thing will ground loop if you don't have it all the way back."
Interesting.
Yes,
Okay. Definitely.
yes. It's like
cool.
not having a stick back. Another way you could look at it is, you know, when you drive in your car on
Yeah.
the road, and then you go over a puddle of water and kind of
Right.
hydroplanes
Hydroplane
for
a
a
bit.
second. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally what's happening to the tailwheel.
I see.
It's not
Yeah.
fully there. There's no
Because
friction.
it wants to go to the front.
It wants
so you
to.
have to.
You have
I
to
get
stay on
that.
top of it. That's
Yeah.
why we're always left, right, then
Yeah.
left, right. It's never just one rudder input. It's always
Right.
back and forth because it's going left, going right,
Right.
and we're always
It's a little
catching it.
balancing game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That makes sense.
Nice. Weathervaining into the wind.
Weathervane. Okay.
You know what weathervane is in general?
Not really.
No problem. So weathervane in general is just pretty much it pretty much wants the airplane wants to face the winds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much wants to face the wind, right? Let me just
Yep.
pull this up real quick. So that way if it locks, I still have it
Yeah,
here.
gotcha.
All right, cool. Yeah, so it's just all airplanes wants to weathervane, right?
Yep.
Right, that's how an airplane works. There's a gust of wind from the side. You could just be parked outside,
Right. It wants
and
to
the airplane
turn
wants to
this way.
face it.
Yep.
It's just the nose gear aircraft, because of the nose wheel doesn't go too far left and right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just gonna face it a little bit and stop right there.
Okay.
But in a tailwheel airplane, because the
It'll
tailwheel, free
fully-
access, it rolls
Yeah.
whatever degree it wants. If it gets gust of wind from the side, it could easily
Right.
weathervane into the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they say tailwheel flying. This is one of the reasons why they say tailwheel flying is not done until we're back at the hangar, chalked up.
Yeah.
That's when you're done flying
Locked
a tailwheel
down.
airplane.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because even gusts of wind could just make the airplane go.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if you ever noticed when they're trying to turn a Cessna around, or even an Archer or a Warrior, whatever that airplane is, they usually lift that nose off the ground.
Yeah,
And they
and
swing
walk
it
it
around.
around. Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need to do that in a tail dragger.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's ready
It's
there.
already there, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what weathervaning is, and that's how it affects a tailwheel airplane.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Which
that
we're
makes
going to talk about how to reduce that during a normal taxi here in a second.
Right.
It's just right now, the FAA wants you to be aware of that, right?
Yeah.
As a new tailwheel pilot, hey, tailwheel airplanes weathervane a lot easier than a tricycle
Definitely.
gear.
Okay. Very cool.
Cool. All right, going back to private pilot days.
All right. Here we go.
4 left-turning tendencies and when do they
yeah.
apply, right?
Here we
I
go,
know you
yep.
studied those before.
We've done it. Okay,
Yep.
So
Yeah, give them to me real
we
quick.
got the P factor.
Cool.
Right? You have
B
the
factor.
the wind going. What is the name of that? When it's
Describe it. Yeah, go for it.
as it's circling around the plane and then hitting.
Yes,
the,
it's hitting on this side, but yes, spinal
Yeah.
slipstream.
spiral slipstream.
Nice.
Slipstream. Thank
Yes. Good. That's
Um,
2.
you. Oh, the actual downward spiral of the propeller. So as that's
P
P
factor.
factor,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you have the torque of it.
Torque. Nice.
So-
That's Newton's third law.
Yeah.
Right. So the propeller's spinning this way.
Yep.
If you can stop the propeller from spinning,
Mhm.
the airplane wants to spin the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Joe, the guy that just knocked on the door, he likes to call this part the Looney Tune
Oh, yeah.
effect. Yeah, because like you hold the propeller
Hold
with
it
your
and then
hand,
it's-
the
yeah.
airplane spins the opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is Newton's third law. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction.
Yeah.
Cool. And the fourth one, do you remember that one? I won't blame you if you don't.
Fourth one. Okay, hold on. So we did the torque, we did the P factor, we
Spinal
did the
slipstream.
spiral.
All tricycle gear pilots forget about this one because it doesn't affect you guys as much as it affects us tailwheel pilots. Gyro. gyroscopic precession? Gyroscopic precession?
Precession.
Have you heard of that before?
I've heard it. I don't remember
I'm sure
that
you
one,
have,
actually.
because it's
Yeah.
part of the left-turning tendencies. It's just, again, tricycle gear pilots, they don't even worry about it too much at all, almost.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect you guys as much as it affects us, which we experienced it today.
Yeah.
I have it on my notes on the debrief. I was going to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Cool. 4 left-turning tendencies and when do they apply? So we got P factor, torque, spinal slipstream, and a gyroscopic precession. So you explained the spinal slipstream pretty well.
Yep.
Torque as well.
Yep.
So let's go over the P factor real quick, and then we'll focus on the gyroscopic precession one.
Absolutely.
And just to confirm though, the spinal slipstream is going to hit this side of the tail, by the way, and it's going to push the tail to the right. So like, so the propeller's spinning this way, so the prop wash goes like that. Eventually hits it here, which will hit the tail to the right or nose to the left.
Right.
So left-turning tendency. P factor. It's for a tricycle gear. It's when you're climbing at an angle, right? Full full power, low speed, high angle. That's really where the P factor comes in.
Absolutely.
For us, when we take off, when we go full power, we're already there.
Already there, yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're hitting P factor
right away.
Yeah.
Right away. And then when we rotate, it hits it again, but we're rotating, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, P factor, the descending blade has a bigger bite of the air than the ascending one, right? So the descending one is producing more thrust than the one coming up. Right. And as you can see, that's going to be a left-turning tendency. Right? That one makes sense, right?
Yeah.
P factor? Cool. Gyroscopic precession. This is really, really important for tailwheel. Okay. So that's why I usually leave that towards the end. So in general, again, let's ignore the airplane for a sec here. A gyro, in general, gyroscopic precession has 2 principles. Okay. Rigidity in space and precession, which the precession part is in the name, gyroscopic precession. Yeah. So 2 principles, rigidity in space and precession. Rigidity in space is any spinning wheel or disc in place becomes a gyro. Right? Precession, it talks about if you put a force or input into that spinning wheel or disc, you're going to feel it 90 degrees into its rotation. Okay. You heard of that before? Yeah. Cool. So in a tailwheel airplane, propeller spinning in place becomes a gyro. Right. So on takeoff, when we go full power, we're going to feel, as soon as we go full power, we're going to feel torque and P factor. Right. As we start rolling, spinal slipstream is going to kick in, and when we bring that tail up, like so, in a tailwheel airplane, we're putting a force like so. We're putting a force like this, pretty much. On top of the prop here, we're going to feel it 90 degrees into its rotation, which is going to be felt here, and that's a left-turning tendency. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you noticed on one of the takeoffs at Leesburg, as we were bringing the tail up, you had it really well, like you were on top of it, but you had to do something about it. Extra right rudder as we were bringing the tail up. Right. Because that's a gyroscopic precession. Interesting. Yeah. I like to show everybody this 3 videos really quick. Each one is literally 5 seconds, which explains this gyroscopic precession really, really well.
That. So when you're bringing the tail up, then it's, that makes so much more sense. Yeah.
Physics. It's crazy.
That's wild.
All right, so this is the rigidity in space part, okay?
All right, so in this part of the ground training, he showed me 3 videos, which were really helpful for explaining what gyroscopic precession is. In the description, I will link the videos. If the links ever break, just drop a comment and let me know, but I'll drop them here and then we'll get back to the video. One for PPL, it never explained that.
Because they never focus on it too much. It doesn't relate to you guys as much as it does for us. For you guys, is when you guys are pitching, which you're already in the air.
So we're already adding that.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, in the air, there's no settle line to maintain.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. So that's your 4 left-turning tendencies, and that's when they apply.
There we go. That makes sense.
Awesome. Taxiing with and without wind control position. So on this one, I'm gonna really just talk about where the stick needs to be during taxi. Yeah. And this part will cover the weather vane part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, and this is usually where I mention tailwheel flying. As soon as the engine is on, you're not done flying until you're back at the hangar with the engine off. So as soon as we turn that engine on, stick needs to come all the way back. All the way. Yes. And we're talking about calm winds right now. Yeah. Right? So if it's calm winds, stick stays back.
Still,
always back, of course. If it becomes a headwind, stays back.
Yeah.
goes to crosswind, back into the wind, fully into the wind.
So if it's coming from my right, I'm going into the right.
Correct.
There. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And even if it's become direct crosswind, still back all the way into it.
Okay.
And doing that with the direct crosswind taxiing, this will prevent the weather vane.
Okay.
If you have the full deflection in and you add in a little bit of extra rudder as well, opposite rudder, to really keep you on the center line, it's still not enough. Maybe it's too strong to even go fly.
Probably don't even.
This part should, not should, it will prevent the weather vane. Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Okay.
If it becomes tailwind, direct tailwind for this example. So where do you think the stick will go?
I think centered, release a bit of back pressure?
Actually, completely forward.
Oh, completely forward,
okay. Yeah, you want to deflect the elevators down, right? When you go forward, deflects down.
So then,
You see what I'm saying? When the tailwind hits it, it only puts...
Because then it is giving authority, because the elevators are down. So
exactly, elevators down, so when the wind hits it, only puts more pressure on the tailwheel, giving us that friction that we talked about. Now, let's be fair. If it's really like 3 knots of tailwind, your prop wash is probably stronger than that. So keeping it back, you're fine. And I tell my students, especially for the private pilot students, feel it out. See which one gives you more authority on the tailwheel, right? Absolutely. If it's like iffy, like 4 knots, maybe 5, and you're not sure which one is giving you more, fill it out. Keep bringing it all the way back. Rudders are responsive somewhat going forward.
I was gonna say, how do you check?
Responsive.
It's really like how responsive the rudder is.
Exactly, how responsive it is. Literally, that's how simple it is, right? Yeah, if it's felt it back, it's responsive, but not as much as I like. Go forward, oh, it's fully responsive.
There it is.
Cool, we're staying forward. Or vice versa. Right?
Absolutely.
Cool. If it becomes coring tailwind from the right or left, it doesn't really matter. If it's from the right, coring tailwind, we're gonna go forward, completely away from it. Which I think Tricycle gear do the same thing.
Do the same thing.
Okay, cool. Same thing on that part. Coring tailwind from the left, forward to the right. That's it.
Cool.
And obviously, I'm sure you know what's happening with the ailerons when we go away from it, right?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Braking system, precautions, and feet positioning. So we're gonna talk about using the brakes here during taxi, but more importantly, during takeoffs and landings. So real quick, before I even talk about how to use the brakes during normal taxi, we do need to understand, really, really important, that we do not use brakes on takeoff and landings. Right? We actually want to be away from them, so that way we don't touch them by accident. Because it happens. It happens. You come in for a wheel landing, your feet are on the brake, not touching them, but they're on there, and then you end up touching it by accident. You could easily prop strike, really easily. So besides ground loops that tailwheel pilots worry about, we obviously worry about prop striking. Which obviously that could cause that really easily to prop strike. So you want to keep your heels on the ground and place the rudder between where your toes and your foot connect. Place it right there. Or maybe even completely just your toes on the rudder completely. Heels definitely on the ground though. That should keep you away from the brakes. So that way when we're doing takeoff and landings, we're not going to touch them by accident. Right? Some tailwheel airplanes come with heel brakes. Those are even easier to stay away from.
Interesting.
Because usually the heel brakes are a little bit on the inside, and so you use them like that. So if you're flying a tailwheel airplane that has heel brakes, just stay away from them. Just stay away from them.
There we
go.
That's it. Okay. Cool.
Cool. So that's how you want to use them for takeoff and landing. That's the precaution part and the feet positioning. So let's talk about how to actually use them during taxi. Right. So let's say we're taxiing this way. On the center line, and we want to follow this other center line, pretty much a full 90 turn here. Right? So we're gonna start with the rudder, of course. If the rudder not enough, like you put in that left rudder and it's still not fully turning, that means we don't have enough airflow going over our control surfaces, so it's not fully responsive to responding to us. So we start with the rudder, not enough. Let's add a touch of power that will get the extra airflow there, and it should respond to your input. So we started with the rudder, not enough, added a little bit of power, still not enough, that's when we go for the brakes. After we did all that, still not enough, that's when we're going for the brakes. Yes, I love how you said tap. Really great job on that. We only tap them, don't hold it. Holding it, it's just going to kill the momentum, right? We work so hard to get this momentum going so it could respond. Holding it is just going to kill it. So tap the brake, tap it nice and hard, right? It will swing the tail over, not enough. Tap it again. Tap it as much as you need, right? Just don't tap it like this either, like rapidly like this. Tap it one tap, keep the momentum going, and then tap it again if needed. Because tapping it like this might as well hold it.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill it, kill the momentum.
Yeah.
Another thing you want to keep in mind using the brakes during taxi. So we're going, you know, let's say we're going this way. We want to come to a full stop. At a full stop in these airplanes, single engine airplanes, light aircraft like this, we keep it at 1,000 RPMs on idle, right? I'm sure you're familiar with that. We do the same thing here. So coming into a full stop, take that power completely out below 1,000 RPMs, then use the brakes to come to a full stop. When you're at a full stop, then you can bring the RPMs back to 1,000.
To prevent the ground loop? Is it
No, it's just having power in and then using the brakes at the same time. It's literally working against each other. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay.
Obviously, it's wearing out the brakes as well. Right? Yes, we don't pay for the brakes, but we do want to have brakes, right? We can wear them out where we don't have them anymore, right? Exactly. I'm sure you know how brakes work. If you use them too much and they get too warm, they won't be as responsive.
Absolutely.
So obviously, besides that, we don't want to wear them out. It could be a safety thing too, right? Absolutely. So yeah, anytime, think of it like this. When you're on the ground, of course, anytime you want to go for the brakes, think of power first. Okay. Right? And think of power. It could be adding power or taking out power, right? Because if we want to turn the airplane around, we're adding power before we use the brakes. Right. If we want to come to a stop, we're taking power out and then use the brakes. Absolutely. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Cool. Also taxiing it, somewhere around here. So we want to go full 90 like so. Somewhere around here, we're doing the opposite rudder to kind of intercept that tailwheel, right? Because I'm sure you've noticed when we turn, and if you don't catch it ahead of time, you just kind of chase it for a second and then it catches you. Obviously, that's not that big of a deal, but we want to learn the proper way of doing things from the start so that good habit gets stuck with you. Yeah. Another thing I want to tell you, because we're already flown together, so I could tell you this now. So if we want to, let's say we got a taxiway that goes around like so, right? Do you watch car racing stuff like F1? Yeah. Good.
So the chicane,
Yeah, you know how they take the corners each time? They do that for two reasons. One, to keep the momentum going. Yep. And two, less turn in degrees on their steering wheel. Right. The less you turn, the more momentum you're gonna maintain, right? That's literally the exact same reason why we do that as well. I don't know if you ever seen me taxi, but I always cut the corner for that reason. Absolutely. One, to keep my momentum going. Right. And two, my tail wheel stays within that 26 degrees we talked about, which stays locked to my vertical stabilizer, aka giving me full rudder authority. Exactly. Yeah. So the center line is here. I'm gonna get out the center line, hit that corner, go to the other corner, and then intercept my center line.
And there goes Max Verstappen. Yeah.
Exactly. He should hire me. All right, cool. So yeah, that's how we taxi the airplane with wind and no wind, and that's how we use the brakes, precaution, and feet positioning. Okay. Makes sense? Yep. Any questions so far on anything we talked about?
No, that's making sense.
Makes sense? Cool. Yeah, it's really making sense to you a lot more because you already experienced it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, let's talk about how to take off a tailwheel airplane with no wind, down the runway, and crosswind, which this should be easy for you because we already know what you already know what you're doing. Absolutely. Cool. All right, so taking off in a tailwheel airplane with no wind. So let's say, so you can see it sideways. Let's say we're taking off this way. All right, so when we go on the center line, as you know by now, stick is all the way back. Yes. Right? Then we're gonna go advance our power. Oh, by the way, sorry, let me pause on that real quick. During this takeoff, we're happy feet, left and right, to maintain that CG. I'm not gonna mention that part, but it's happening. Okay, I mean you've seen it. All right, so anyways, going back to this. So full power. As we start rolling, we're gonna count to about, if it's calm winds, about 4, maybe even 5 seconds. Yeah. All right, so 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 4, right? Not 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I've seen that happen. I'm like, guys, come on. So yeah, we count to 4 to 5 seconds. Is pretty much to get us enough airflow going over our tail to generate lift on our tail. Yeah. Right. In the Citabria, it's about 40 miles an hour when the tail is ready to go. But obviously on takeoff, we're not watching the airspeed. Yeah. Especially at that critical time as we're bringing the tail up. Yeah. So we're really just feeling it out, right? Yeah. Like at first we talk numbers, but at the end of the tail endorsement, it's all about feel. Yeah. This feels good. Let's bring that tail up. Absolutely. Right. So yeah, 40 miles an hour is enough airflow going over our tail to generate lift on our tail.
Yeah.
And eventually we're gonna reach 60,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna gentle back pressure on our stick, which will rotate.
Yep.
And then we'll climb at 80.
Yep.
So that's how we take off, just like you've been doing.
Yep. There we go.
Awesome. That's no wind.
Yeah.
With wind down the runway, it's pretty much exact same steps, but we're gonna reach that 40 miles an hour sooner because there's headwinds. So instead of 5 seconds, we're most likely gonna count about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
So 1 Mississippi, 2, after we go advance our power, 1,000, 2, 3, tail up, 60, rotate.
Yep.
So everything's just gonna happen a little bit sooner.
sooner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Earlier on takeoff here, we went stick forward a little soon. I was like,
Okay,
you know, just
yeah.
continue going with it. That's fine. We already got full power.
Yeah.
Right? If you didn't have full power and release the stick, we would be in the 3 conditions for a ground loop. But we have full power, so there's airflow. Our rudder should be responsive.
Right.
Right? Or yeah, right. I think I said that right.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Makes sense?
Yep. That tracks.
Awesome. Crosswind takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the same steps, but it's just a little tweak to it. So let's say it's left crosswind here. Mind if I use this? Just to
Illustrate.
Yeah, exactly. Just so you guys see that. Cool. So left crosswind, when we go on the center line, the stick's going to be fully back and fully into the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter how strong it is.
Yeah.
We want to have it fully in there to prevent the weather vane as
Right.
we line up on the center line.
That makes
but
sense.
fully in there, because we're going slow, so the wind will weather vane us.
Yeah.
Right? So fully in there. Now when we advance, since it's left.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry. Here,
Oh,
we
you're
can
good.
make it right. We can make it right if you want. Doesn't matter. All right. So, you know, we're gonna advance our power here. When you go stick forward, it's not gonna come directly forward like so, and it's not gonna come back to neutral either.
Oh.
Yeah, when we go stick forward, this is where how strong the crosswind matters.
Okay.
So if it's 3 knots of crosswind, let's say this is neutral. If it's just 3 knots of crosswind, we're gonna bring stick forward and it's gonna be really close to neutral.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's 12 knots of crosswind and we're bringing the stick forward, it's gonna be a lot more into the wind.
Right.
So when you bring the stick forward, that's when how strong the crosswind matters. Is when
see.
you bring it forward.
And you kind of just feel that out.
Yeah,
For the, yeah.
Exactly. You just feel it out.
Yeah.
Right? I'm putting too much crosswind. I'm going to the left. Let me go a little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Or I'm still getting pushed to the right. Let me go a little bit more to the left.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Okay.
And then, you know, 60, rotate, climb at 80, still the same.
There we go.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Any questions on how to take off a tailwheel airplane?
Nope.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Usually when I ask that, right about here, I'm like, all right, so you good? Go do the takeoff on your own? And they obviously say no, but I feel like you really
could, yeah.
I feel like you really can. So I'm not gonna ask you that.
Right.
All right, cool. How to land.
Okay.
So in a tailwheel airplane, how to land a tailwheel airplane, we have 2 type of landings.
Yes.
Right. I just want to clarify that because some people just, you know, just to make sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah,
Right. So we have 2 type of landing. A 3-point landing. A 3-point landing is all 3 touching down at the same time.
Yep.
Not the mains first, then the tail follow. No.
Right.
Not the tail first and the mains follow.
Right.
That's even worse. It's just a bad landing. It's all 3 at the same time. That's what a good 3-point landing is.
Yes.
The second type of landings we have, it's wheel landings.
landing.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
the mains. Just hitting the mains, and eventually we're gonna bring the tail back.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's talk about the 3-point first, and then we'll go into wheel, and then we'll add some winds on that
Absolutely.
occasion or equation. There we go. Jeez. With the cameras, I sometimes forget how to
I
talk.
do the same thing, dude. Oh my god. How many retakes I do? It's insane.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's act like this is our runway. Yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. Let's act like this is our runway. We're gonna use your pencil as our numbers.
Okay.
All right, on the downwind.
Yep.
Well, we're talking about the approach because every good landing starts with a good approach. So we're gonna talk about the approach first, and then we'll work our way to the landing.
All right.
And we're doing left traffic like how we're supposed to.
Yeah.
So on the downwind, in this airplane, we just need about 2,000, maybe 2,100 RPMs on the downwind. Just depends. If it's cold out, 2,000 will do. If it's hot out, you might want 2,100 RPMs. Yeah. Cool. So that's on the downwind. And then the distance away from the runway, I'll show you that in the airplane.
Yeah.
Even though we already flew together, you know the distance. You're
Yeah.
fine. But that's usually what I say.
Absolutely.
Anyways, yeah. We're on the downwind. We got set up. Everything looking good.
Yeah.
Beat me the numbers. 3 things you and I are going to do. power completely out.
Power completely out.
Let the airplane descent first,
Yep.
let her start sinking,
Sink.
and then pitch for 80.
Okay.
Because as you saw, if we go straight for 80, you're just going to come in so high.
Yeah.
So you actually want to start that descent. Get the airplane to start coming down.
I noticed I wanted
first.
to do that more.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then pitch for 80.
Yeah.
Cool. Now we're descending at 80,
Mm-hmm.
45 away from the numbers.
Mhm.
We're going to turn in base.
Yep.
On base, we're going to pitch for 70.
Okay.
Right now, we're pitching back here. The stick is getting heavy.
Yeah.
Use this back trim. Yeah, aft trim really helps with the 3-point landings. It really does. All right, cool. So we got 70 here, maybe even 75, depends what's going on. But really, 70 is ideal. Turn in final, 65 is what we need because we do the 3-point landings at 65 miles an hour, not knots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. On final, this is pretty much where approach ends and we go to the landing portion, right? So on final, you really want to have a good nose down attitude.
Okay.
It's really key to landing almost any tailwheel airplane. You need a nose down, somewhat of a nose down attitude. We're not diving for it.
Right,
It's just somewhat of a nose down attitude, right? At 65 miles an hour. We're coming in nose down attitude, and you could think of this nose down attitude here is the first step to make the landing. So that's the first step.
Mm-hmm.
I like to break it down into steps for landing, just to simple it down. This is literally my own way of things, not the Tailwheel Adventures. It's just my way of trying to simple it down.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work for everybody, but it does work for most people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it out with you.
Absolutely.
All right. So first step is nose down attitude, right at the numbers. Second step is proper ground effect, really nice and close like so. Third step is flare for the actual touchdown, right?
Okay.
So when we're on that nose down attitude here on short final, whatever, stick is somewhere around here.
Yep.
Right? When we're around out, it's pretty much a good one movement just like so. Bam. Right?
Yeah.
But after the ground effect, it's really tiny, small, tiny flares. It's usually about 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
It's never less than 2, and it's never more than 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 will do it, right?
Yeah.
If we're sinking really fast, 2 flares will get us there.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, ground effect is there. You really just want the ground come to you.
Right.
So we round it out, we stop the descent. Now you're gonna see the ground getting closer. We're gonna add 1 flare, which will hold it off for a second. And it's gonna start coming down again. We're gonna add another flare.
Right.
Bam. It'll hold it off for a second, and that third one, as we touch down, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Reaching that 3-point attitude and touching down at the same time.
Right. Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Because we want to touch down at all 3 at the same time.
At the same time.
Right? We want to get to that 3-point attitude. Now I could tell you I could say 3-point attitude because you probably know what that is by now.
Yeah.
Right? Some people don't know.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much how the airplane sits on the ground. Right? Sitting on the ground like this with the engine off, that's your 3-point attitude.
Yeah.
We want to get there and touch down at the same time.
That makes sense.
Right? And that's pretty much how we get there. Really small adjustments or flares, really.
Right.
Back pressure. Because I'm sure you notice if we add a little extra,
balloon
comes back up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're really, energy management, of course.
Absolutely.
Just really tiny 2 to 3 flares.
Yeah.
And obviously the stick will not be back all the way back. When we
Right.
touch down on all 3, it's our job to bring it all the way back. Exactly. I mean, that video you posted, you could really see. Like you flared really well.
Yeah.
When we touched down, it was still a good movement of stick back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. Cool,
Absolutely.
cool. Ground effect. 1, 2,
3.
sometimes 3. Touchdown on all 3. Stick back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And happy feet, of course, right?
Yeah.
And when we touch down, because that's
Absolutely.
really where he wants to ground loop you as soon as you touch down there.
Yeah.
Wheel landing.
Yes.
All right, cool. Every good landing, so that's where to go to approach.
Yep.
So on the downwind, exact same setup on the downwind, really. And
Yeah.
the approach part 2 is just one big difference between the two. So even the numbers, still same thing. Power completely out, let the airplane sink, and then pitch for 80.
Yeah.
Right? When we get 80, we're going to keep the 80 in all the way through because we do the wheel landings at 80 miles an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the first big difference. There's only really 2 big differences between the 2. One on the approach and one on the actual landing.
Okay.
So this is the first difference, is coming in at 80. Keeping the 80 all the way through by the exact same approach, 45, we turn in, keep it coming at 80, a little bit of a nose down attitude, looking good, right? So this is the approach part. Now we go into the landing, right? So starting with the nose down attitude, going 80 miles an hour. We're gonna bring it even closer to the ground than the 3-point landing.
Okay.
The ground effect in general, it's always going to be the same spot for the for that specific airplane.
Right.
So don't get me wrong here, but we are going to get really nice and close to, even closer to the ground for the ground effect on the wheel landing here, okay?
Yeah.
So really, really nice and close. And so, you know, round out is still the same, but it's closer to the ground. And then we're going to add one tiny flare, barely a flare, touches down, we're going to go stick forward.
Okay.
Right? So the round out part is still the same, but it's just closer to the ground. The flare part is different. We're not going to flare nearly as much, right? It's just one tiny flare. It's a tiny one, dude. Sometimes you can't even tell you're flared. That's how tiny it is.
Okay.
Right? And you touch down and you go stick forward. Now we add that tiny flare to soften that touchdown.
Right.
Because if we get a ground effect and we don't do anything else, there's nowhere else to go but the ground. So it will continue coming down, but it's going to bounce up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we add a tiny flare to soften it up. Now, when we touch down, we added a little flare, so that's pretty much an angle of attack. That's fine. It's an angle of attack, so we want to go stick forward to get rid of the angle of attack.
Oh, right,
yeah.
right.
Because if you touch down and you don't go stick forward, it's going to come right back up.
Yeah.
It's pretty much going to be bouncy because it's not enough to continue flying, but it's not settled either.
Right.
Yeah. So when we touch down, we're going to go stick forward, which gets rid of that angle of attack on our wings. And I promise you, Joe, it will pin those mains to the ground. It will not come back up. Because there's nothing. You're not asking anything of the wing right now. There's no lift. You got rid of the angle of attack. It will stay on the ground, I promise you. I had this guy would touch down on the wheels, and we're bouncing. Like, dude, his approach was awesome. Yeah. His ground effect was great. Yeah. His touchdown was butter. Yeah. But then start bouncing after the touchdown.
Because he didn't go
stick forward. Dude, and I was asking him, I was like, go stick forward. Yeah. Why aren't you going stick forward? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm waiting for it to stop bouncing. I'm like, then I jumped in, I was like, well, it's bouncing because you're not going to stick forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
This just to look like I know what I'm doing.
Looks more official.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So that's how you pretty much make the landings. 3-point versus a wheel landing. Yeah. That's the type of landings we have in the tailwheel world. Okay. Any questions on that so far? We haven't done wheel landings yet.
The other question with wheel landing is, so now you're stick forward, you're slowing down. When do you transition to going all the way back?
Really good question. Yeah. Really, really good question, actually. So, really great question, because that actually reminded me on that. Most ground loops happen when you make a wheel landing.
Really?
Yes. Obviously, 110% can't happen at a 3-point landing. Sure. 100%. You've seen it.
That's interesting.
But most of the ground loops, if you go on YouTube and look up ground loops, most of them 90% of them, they're coming in for a wheel landing. And as they bring the tail back, as they bring the tail back, they don't go stick all the way back. So let me explain that part actually. So we're gonna touch down, you know, beautiful wheel landing. Right. We're gonna keep going straight, and the stick going forward feels fine. Right. Now when the stick gets heavy, that means the tail is losing its lift and it's ready to come down. We're not gonna force it up. We're gonna pretty much assist it all the way back, because the tail wheel is gonna come down on its own. It doesn't need us to bring it down to the ground. It will come down on its own. The pilot's job is to assist it all the way back. You're gonna assist it, you're gonna go with it pretty much all the way back. Yeah. All the way. Because I promise you, when the tail hits the ground, your stick will not be all the way back. Right. And this is where the ground loop. They're bringing it back, the tail hits, they're like, all right, we're on the ground, we're good. Yeah. Yeah. But then they lose authority. Yeah, they have no authority. They lose their authority and they ground loop. Go home today and please watch some ground loop videos.
I'm gonna check that out. That's
You're gonna see. Watch their elevator. The elevator is not deflecting up. That means their stick is not all the way back. It's usually flat, maybe a little bit up, but not fully. Not all the way. Yeah, not all the way. The elevators are not up. So they don't have tailwheel authority and they ground loop. Yeah. Really good question on that. Really. Now that's how you do in a Satavia. In the bird dog that I mentioned earlier. You know what a bird dog is? Yeah. Yeah. That thing, you have to keep the stick forward until the tail is completely on the ground, and then you go back like this, fast. Yeah. Yeah. Not aggressive, just fast. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, that bird dog
less forgiving.
Really tested. Yeah, it's really less forgiving. It really tested my skills on that airplane. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm planning on going fly it again sometime soon, in July, hopefully. Really, really great question. Any other good questions like that on the landings?
Nope, only
Good.
that was.
Awesome. Let's add some winds to it.
Okay.
We'll talk about 3-point for now.
Okay.
And then when we come to the wheel landings portion, well, like in real life, the flight portion, when we're ready for the wheel landings, which is really close,
Yeah.
we'll talk more about the crosswind for the wheel landings.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So wind down the runway, it's going to be exactly the same steps, right?
Yeah.
It just might happen sooner. You might
Yeah.
even glide longer,
Yeah.
right? But it's exactly the same still, though, right?
Absolutely.
I actually prefer some kind of headwind rather than calm winds.
Okay.
I honestly prefer that. The airplane wants to fly.
It does.
Yeah.
It
With
does.
no wind, it's just sometimes when it gets too slow, it just drops.
Yeah.
It just I like some kind of wind.
Mm-hmm.
With the crosswind,
Mm-hmm.
this one, it does really require more attention from the pilot, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's say it's left crosswind again.
Okay.
We're on final.
Mhm.
Well, actually, let me pause on that real quick. I mentioned this already, but part of the ground here, we in a tailwheel airplanes, we do not crap into the wind and then fix it last minute. That's
Right.
not a thing for tailwheel airplanes. Sure, you can crap on a 2-mile final. For us, 2-mile final is far.
Yeah.
So sure, you could crap into the wind, but when you establish on final, short final,
Mhm.
you really have to have this longitudinal axis of the airplane
Yeah.
aligned with the motion of the airplane.
Yeah.
I say motion, but it really should be the center line.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes the students will drift off the center line right before touchdown, and I
Mhm.
don't want them to try to catch it last second there and end up landing sideways.
Right.
So as long as you're landing straight with your longitudinal axis in a tailwheel airplane,
Yeah.
you're safe,
Okay.
right?
Definitely.
So this axis here has to be straight at all times when landing a tailwheel airplane.
Yeah.
Wind or no wind,
Yeah.
it has to be straight.
Has to be straight.
Right.
Okay.
Why we do that? Because in a Cessna, you could come in and even touch down a little bit of a side load and you're fine, right? Because the CG in the front of the mains,
Yeah. I was gonna say, it wants to get over anyway. So,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. In the
Okay.
CG in a Cessna here, you could think of it like a string pulling forward on it.
Right.
So if they end up landing sideways, or even airliners do that too,
Yeah.
the CG pulling forward will only help you straighten back up.
Right.
For us, same concept here, but the CG is behind the wings.
So then we'll
it's
ground
gonna be
it, yeah.
so easy to ground the
Yeah.
tailwheel
That
airplane.
makes sense. Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Now let's talk about the crosswind. So we have a left crosswind,
Okay.
and that left crosswind is gonna push us to the right side of the center line, which we're gonna fight that with the stick.
Yep.
Which is gonna pretty much bank us and kind of face us towards it.
Mhm.
We're gonna fix that part with the opposite
rudder,
rudder.
yep.
So stick into the wind, opposite rudder, just
Yeah.
like any crosswind correction in any airplane, really.
Yep.
Which is called a side slip,
Yep.
right? So that's why I said earlier, side slip and forward slips. We use them all the time here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to. Cool. So whatever crosswind correction we have in here, it feels fine.
Mhm.
It feels like it's enough.
Mhm.
But as we get in a ground effect, we're burning we're burning a lot of energy here. We're losing a lot of our energy. So the slower you are, the more effect that wind's gonna have on you.
Right.
So as you round out here for the ground effect, the stick is going more and more
Yeah.
into the wind. Really nice job. Yes. So it's gonna go more and more into the wind. As we add any kind of flare after that, it's only gonna be going more and more into the
Into that
wind.
side.
So by the time we touch down on all three,
It's all
the
back
stick is
into
fully
the-
back and fully into the wind.
That
As
makes
you
sense.
notice, it's like a takeoff with a crosswind, but reversed.
Yep.
Right? And when a takeoff with a crosswind, we start fully in there, and
And
then
then-
we go fully
Yeah.
to go forward to whatever we want.
Absolutely.
Landing, we start with whatever we want or need, really,
Right.
and then we go fully into it.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, fly the airplane. Sometimes having too much crosswind correction might pull the opposite wing up,
Mhm.
which is fine. Just take out the crosswind
Little bit,
correction,
yeah.
which we're bringing down,
Yep.
and if you still need it, bring it back into the wind.
Yeah.
Right? Just whatever you need. Fly the airplane.
Small inputs.
Yeah, small inputs, really important. 3-point, no winds, wind down a runway, and crosswind.
Yep.
That's pretty much how it's done.
Sounds good.
All right, emergency procedures during takeoff phases and landing phases.
Okay.
So on takeoff, if we go full power but the tail is still down, and then we have to abort,
Mhm.
power back nice and gentle,
Mhm.
right? Because we get right turning tendencies if you yank it.
Yeah.
So nice and gentle, maintain center line,
Yep.
and brake as necessary.
Yes.
Right? We don't slam on them, of course, because it could prop strike. Let's say we go full power, get the tail up, and then we abort takeoff.
Mhm.
At that point, we're just doing a wheel landing. So
Yep.
power back, nice and
back.
gentle, maintain your center line,
And then
bring the tail back
ease it all the
when
way
it's
back
ready.
with it.
Sometimes we have to bring it back a little soon during
Okay.
an abort, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't
Right.
have that runway, but still, it's plenty. Still, bring that tail back and brake as necessary.
Yep.
Let's say we rotate it and below 500 feet,
Mhm.
we lose our engine.
Mhm.
We're gonna do a 35, maybe even a 45 turnout. We just pretty left or right, it doesn't matter. It's just 9 out of 10, there's no place to land straight ahead.
Yeah.
Right, so we're most likely gonna go left or right. Just depends what runway we're using.
Yeah.
Right here, runway 27, we're gonna go to the left.
Yep.
Runway 9, we could honestly land straight ahead.
Yeah.
There's plenty, you saw the field, it's wide open.
Absolutely.
Leesburg, depends on the runway, left
Yep.
or right for sure. Depends
Absolutely.
what runway is in use. Let's say we rotate it above 500 feet, then we lose our engine. These airplanes, the Citavias, are more than capable of doing an
Doing
impossible 180.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which I make all my
That's
private
actually
pilot
crazy.
students do it before
Wow.
they go solo. The day before they solo or the same day they're about to go solo.
Make sure they.
I take off at 500 feet. Right before we even reach 500 feet, I cut their engine,
Yeah.
turn it back around. And I like doing it here because we're gonna turn back around, take off on the opposite runway,
There
do
you
the
go.
same
Do it
thing,
again, yeah.
do it again. I do like good 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Really get them comfortable with the airplane. All
Yeah.
right, go solo now.
There we go.
But
That's
yeah, this
awesome.
airplane is more than capable of doing that.
Yeah.
That's the takeoff phase. Landing phases, we are going to practice these as well. So, you know, let's say we're coming into land and we're landing this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to practice this. So we're going to lose our engine. We're going to pretty much come towards the runway as a whole and energy manage it, right?
Yeah.
So if we're high, we continue going out. If we're low, we're going to continue bringing it in.
Yep.
And then land, right? Instead of a rectangular course, it might look like a triangle,
Yeah.
right? Normal energy management, which we'll practice.
Okay.
Then we also have what we call a tailwheel shore approach, right?
Okay.
Because these airplanes, as you notice, every single airplane in that hangar is 90% fabric.
Yeah.
So if we catch on fire, we need to get down now.
Immediately, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
This is what we do, which I did it with you today.
Yeah.
If we catch on fire, we need to bring her down now. We're gonna go straight to the numbers.
Yeah.
Obviously, going straight to the numbers, we're gonna come in high,
Right.
right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slip it straight to the numbers, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, actually, hold on. I kind of explained that wrong. One sec. Let's bring it back just a sec here, just for the fire part.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the runway and we're gonna break it into 3 pieces. Again, we're still landing this way.
Yeah.
So we got one part of the runway here.
Yep.
We got the second part here.
Yep.
And there's the third part here.
Yeah.
Our goal is to ignore this first piece and try to land on the second 2 here.
Yeah.
We do that just in case we come short. We still have a runway to land on.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we made those 2 pieces here, but we need more runway that way.
Yeah.
We're gonna be slow enough to not kill ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So to accomplish this, to break the runway into 3 pieces, obviously in the air you can't do, just about 3 or not, right?
Right.
So to do that in the air, in a real life scenario, just go straight to the numbers.
Straight to the numbers.
Yeah, straight to the numbers. So slip it straight to the numbers.
Yep.
When you get the center line in, you can get out the slip and line up.
Yep.
We're most likely gonna have to slip it again. So slip it again, and you end up landing on the second 2 pieces.
There we go.
Exactly what I did earlier.
that's
I went
exactly
straight
it.
to the numbers.
Yeah.
I did get a little low, so I got out the slip and let her just glide in.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, you know what? I could still slip it some more, and then I continue slipping it, and I ended
Yep.
up landing on the second 2 pieces there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's for landing phase right
pretty
there.
cool,
So
yeah.
takeoff phase emergency, and that's the landing phases part, which we're gonna practice both for the landing portion.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Definitely.
gonna do a normal energy management,
Yeah.
and eventually we're gonna work on that aggressive, get it down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I love doing that here
Yeah.
because here you really have to be spot on.
Yeah.
There's a short runway.
Yep.
If you go too far,
Yeah.
you go around that.
Yeah.
Right? In a real life scenario, we can't go around.
Right. Exactly.
But we're gonna be slow
Gotta nail
enough
it.
to not kill ourselves. Yes. I did one yesterday. When we're done with the ground, I'll show you the video. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Cool. Positive schedule controls is pretty much the last thing we're gonna talk about here.
Sure.
We talk about it. I know it sounds silly, but we had too many close calls, so we really want to clarify that now before we get in the airplane, so everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
We do 3-way positive schedule controls, which you do great on that.
Yep.
Right. Just to make sure. So if I'm flying the airplane and I want to give you the controls, I will say your controls,
I'll
you
say
respond my controls, and I'll respond to your controls for the 3rd time,
Absolutely.
and vice versa.
Yep.
Cool?
Sounds good.
Awesome. That's our tailwheel ground.
There we go.
Cool. Any questions?
No, most of it makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? It goes
Yeah.
with what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Cool. I didn't do a debrief with you on the flight.
That's true.
Let's do that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
All right, so once again, I want to give a huge shout out to the folks over at Tailwheel Adventures. This was a really great ground training session, so really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the content that you saw here. If you did, please give a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And of course, go check out Tailwheel Adventures, and I hope to see you in the sky.